Well, hey y'all, welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, and then we're going to make some banana nut bread. And if we have time, then we might make something else. I'm not sure. We'll just see how this goes. We're going to be making the banana nut bread in small loaf pans, and we're going to be making those for gifts for this holiday season. When we go and visit someone or someone stops by, we can have something to offer them. I think that's a sweet thing to do. So let me get my tea going here. I've got my French press, and this is some tea blend that I freeze dried a few years ago. It still smells really good, really nice. And so I'm trying to watch. You can't drink cocoa every day, right? So I have to go in. This is let's see, that looks like a lemon slice. I think I'm going to go with, I have some orange pieces. These were freeze dried. I'm going to put one of those in there. And then I have my kettle. It's all hot. And we are going to let this steep for a few minutes. Get my cup out. We're going to let this sit here and steep for just a few minutes. And it'll be delicious. It's minty, it's got rose hip in it. Okay, so I've got my little pans here, my little loaf pans. And this recipe is one that I actually just Googled banana nut bread. And I found one that I really liked, and I wrote it down, put it on my little index card here. And so this is the one I use most of the time when I'm making this. A lot of times I'll go ahead and make it in the big loaf pans, and then I'll cut them in half, wrap them up really good, put them in the freezer, and we can just bring one half out at a time. And because it's just me and Papa here, you know, you don't need the whole thing. And so that's what I was thinking about these small loaf pans, that most of the people that we will be gifting these to are our age. So there'll be, you know, just the two of them, and it'll be enough for them to have just, you know, a few pieces each. So let me show you what we've got here. I have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I have 2 cups of sugar. I have my baking soda, and I have my salt. I have 4 eggs in this little cup. I have a half a cup of milk. I have my vanilla that I like. And I have 2 cups of mashed bananas. And then I have, the recipe calls for walnuts, but I'm going to be using pecans because we prefer that. But if you like a different kind of nut in your bread, then by all means, have at it. So what it tells me to do first, let me find a whisk, is to combine all the dry ingredients in a bowl. So we're going to do that. So there is my flour. Here's my sugar, 2.5 cups. I may have to get a bigger bowl. That'll be okay. I'm going to pour this in my hand. I did wash my hands, but I want to make sure that this is not clumpy. Sometimes baking soda will clump up on you. So we'll do that. And then I have some pink Himalayan salt. That's going in. All right. So that's my dry ingredients. And so I'm going to give this a stir. Whisk it around. Get it really good and mixed up. We don't want any clumps of baking soda or too much salt in one and not enough in another. Oh, there we go. All right. Now it says to combine all the wet ingredients and then pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And so here's my bananas. And here is my 4 eggs. Put that in. It calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla, but I hardly ever measure vanilla. Let me shake this. I like this because it has the vanilla bean in it. So put just a little bit more. More is better. And let me grab another whisk here. And I'm going to whisk this together. And we're also going to put in our milk here in a minute, but I didn't want to get this little bowl too full before I put my milk in. Right. And I'm going to pour my milk in. Put that over there. So, get this all mixed together. And once this is mixed together, we're going to mix the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And we're not going to do this, I'm not going to do this with a mixer. I'm just going to do this by hand because I don't want this over mixed. I've done it both ways. Hard to tell which way is better. But anyway, that's the way we're doing it today. Less dishes to wash. Okay. So, I think I am going to need a bigger bowl. So let me see what I can find down here. Okay. So, I think this will be a nice size bowl. Let me pour this into here. I wanted it in the glass so you could see it better, but oh well, we have to do what we have to do, right? So now we're going to mix the wet ingredients into the dry. Now that we've got these two in here, we're just going to kind of fold this together. This is actually a really nice bowl for this because I can spin it and turn it. I think it'll work out better than that glass one. We want this well mixed together. You can see it's coming together very nicely. I want to make sure to go to the bottom of the pan. Make sure we're getting all that flour broke up. Smells really wonderful. Now I'm going to add my pecans. Yes, this is looking really nice. Okay. All right. Let me get me a I'm going to get a ladle and I'll pour this over here. And I'm going to fill these about 3/4 of the way full. And I've got my oven set. I think I did that wrong. I've got my oven preheating to 325. And these are usually made into 2 large bread pans. So I don't know how many of these little ones it's going to make. So we'll see. And it says to cook 1 hour and 20 minutes. I don't think they're going to, these are not going to need to cook that long. But we'll just keep a good watch on them. So I'm going to try for about 3/4 of the way full. There we go. I love banana nut bread. It's funny, I don't ever remember my mother making this, but for some reason, I really do like it. I enjoy bacon. I would not say I'm great at it, but I do enjoy doing it. All right, that's going to be the perfect amount. All of these, and we'll put all those in the dishwasher in a moment. But we've got these ready, and we're just waiting for our oven to preheat. So this is, I think this is going to be really great. So I got 2, 4, 6, 6 little loaf pans. That'll be great. Good little gift for someone. All right, so I've got my tea here. Let's see how this tastes. See if it still tastes as good as it did a while back. Yes, very good. So I had a lot of, at our other home, before we moved here, I had a lot of herbs and different things, and I dehydrated them. And I have probably 2 gallons of tea mixture that I made before we moved here. And well, now we have a freeze dryer, and I can't wait to get my herbs going again so that I can make some more when needed. Freeze drying, I could put that in Mylar bags, and they would be good for 20 years or more when you're doing freeze drying. Dehydrating, I just kind of smell of the contents of the jar, and as long as it smells good to me, and this did, it smelled like peppermint and roses and all those good things that I had put in there. And today I used a little stevia. Some days I use honey, some days I use stevia or something else like that. So it's just whatever you like and whatever you want. So I'm gonna get these in the oven, and I will be back in a minute. So we've got our timer set for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna check on them fairly regularly. You want them when the toothpick comes out clean. Then you know they're done. What we're going to do now is I had this cake mix, just a regular old cake mix, chocolate devil's food. And I thought, what can I do with this to make it more festive and really good? Smells wonderful. All that chocolate. Okay. So, and the recipe on the box called for a cup of water. I've got a little bit more than that here, so let's pour a little bit of this out. A cup of water, 3 eggs, and a half a cup of oil. Now, if you don't have oil, you can substitute applesauce. Honestly, I made it in October, very end of October. That tea is so good. I'm going to use my little hand mixer rather than my big mixer. Put my cup of water in. My 3 eggs that I have beaten slightly. And I'm going to put half of this in there. All right. Okay, what I'm trying to accomplish here is I wanted to show you that one recipe was totally from scratch, right? And then this one is using a box cake mix. And you know what? Use the box cake mix. But there's nothing wrong with using convenience foods. There's nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so I'm going to put my pecans in here. And these little mini marshmallows. I'm just going to put a couple handfuls and let's see how that looks. I'm making this up as I go. Can you tell? I want a few marshmallows in each one, so I'm going to put just a few more. I love these. I got these at the Amish market. And I really like them in my cocoa. So there we go. Super simple Rocky Road cake. So we're going to start off with 3 pans. All right. And we're going to put these about half full. Okay. So and I just got these pans at Dollar Tree. We live in a little small town. We do have a supercenter, Walmart, and we have one grocery store, and we have a lot of Dollar Generals, and we have a Dollar Tree. So I like to go in Dollar Tree though every now and then, see what they've got. We'll put the applesauce in the refrigerator and Papa will eat that later. So we got 5 chocolate Rocky Road cakes here. This is going to be great. Over there. And I'm just going to take some of these and sprinkle around on the top just to make it pretty. They may wind up inside. If they do, we will do something different. There's nothing you can't fix. Well, there are things you can't fix, but hardly ever. Unless you substitute salt for sugar, you can fix it. Okay. So these are going to sit and wait for the others to come out of the oven. That feels better. Drink my tea. This time of year, I typically like cocoa, but can't drink cocoa every single day, right? So the tea is good. I enjoy that too. I heard something the other day, and you probably heard this, but I hadn't heard it till the other day, that there's something called a glimmer. And a glimmer is just a little bit. It's something that you see or hear or taste. It's just a little thing that reminds you of that there's hope in the world. There is friendship in the world. There is something good that we can all, hold on to. So whenever you see one of those glimmers, hang on to it. Hang on to it. I love to watch the birds, and so like the first hummingbird of the year is a glimmer for me. The first butterfly. I love it when I see cardinals. We live in kind of a rural community, so there are a lot of deer, in the outskirts of town. And if I ever see a deer, I always think that's a glimmer, some hope. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that we do, So tell me in the comments, what are the glimmers that you hold on to, that you look for, that you try to find? What's a glimmer in your life? Okay, so this is how they turned out. I'll put them in the freezer, wrapped in saran wrap, and I'll wrap them up real good. And then before I go to give them, I will wrap them up pretty and put bows and everything on them and make everything look really nice and pretty. Okay, so we got that done today. I got a few things to put in the freezer for gifts, and that's going to be nice to have. And I think they turned out really well. I was really happy with the way they turned out. The chocolate cakes I will frost before I give them to whoever gets them. And the banana nut bread will go just like it is. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you've had a good time today being in the kitchen with me. And I want you to know that Nana loves you. Nana's proud of you. Remember, be kind. Be generous with your time. Time is short. Time is fleeting. And so just remember, you have a friend here. Nana loves you.